Coming to you from the home of Franklin's finest, this is the APB Podcast. Here now is Franklin Police Public Information Manager, Max Winitz.
It is episode 2 of the APB Podcast. Hi, everybody. I'm Max Winitz, the Public Information Manager for the Franklin Police Department, welcoming you in. Hey, real quick shout out to all of those who tuned into our launch, our first episode last week, a sit down with Chief Deb Faulkner. We had a chance to look over some of the analytics, and we noticed that hundreds of you tuned in for that inaugural episode, whether that be the video version on YouTube or the audio version on, Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, you name it. Thank you so very much for making that first episode such a success. We feel the momentum. The momentum is building. It's going to continue this week and in the weeks and months to come. And as I mentioned, it continues today. Today, we're talking about Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. We'll be sitting down with Officer Domenico Buffa, Dom, as we call him around here. Dom is assigned to the traffic unit. 90% of the time you will see him out on the street on his motorcycle. So he provides a lot of great information for all of you motorcyclists and all of you motorists who are traveling, in your cars, your pickup trucks, and how to watch out for motorcyclists, especially now when more and more are coming out with the warmer weather here to stay for the foreseeable future. Another thing about Dom is that he brings a really unique story to this podcast, and that has to do with the tragic loss of his brother, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about that. But for right now, let's get to the news. This was really a terrific story. We saw a lot of great feedback on this one. Several members of our traffic unit last week were able to escort a group of World War II veterans and JROTC students from Rossview High School in Clarksville. They were traveling from the Marriott here in Cool Springs to BNA, where they jumped onto a chartered plane and departed for New Orleans, going to the National World War II Museum. An unforgettable trip. It was fully funded by the Gary Sinise Foundation. We're proud to collaborate with that foundation on a lot of neat initiatives here in Franklin. And we were honored to play really just a small part in this meaningful journey, being part of this respectful, smooth send-off for these American heroes, these cadets. Officer Buffa, who I brought up earlier, Officer Joe LaCates, Officer Sullivan Tuck, all assigned to the traffic unit. They had the privilege of participating in this effort. And before the trip got underway, the three of them actually got to sit down and have breakfast with some of these World War II veterans. It was really, really a special day, especially for Officer Tuck, who is a military veteran himself. I know he was quite taken aback by being a part of that. So thank you to those three officers for doing that. Thank you to these two officers for being very brave. On April 27th, Master Patrol Officer Brian DeLapp and Officer Eric Lee were presented the prestigious Life-Saving Award from the Sons of the American Revolution during a ceremony at the Williamson County Public Library. They received this award because of their heroic actions from an incident that occurred last January. DeLapp and Lee responded to a call at the 4th Avenue parking garage in downtown Franklin. Upon arrival, they found a man standing at the edge of the top level near the wall. DeLapp and Lee tried to speak with him, and the man then suddenly climbed over the wall in an attempt to harm himself without any hesitation. DeLapp and Lee, they rushed forward. The man had already gone over the edge when the officers managed to grab onto his clothing. The officers fought to pull the man back to safety as he resisted. Despite the physical challenge, they were able to bring him back over the wall and secure him just in time. As Chief Faulkner put this, there's no doubt that these officers saved a life, and these two officers, again, were awarded for their heroism last week, or I should say Sunday, April 27th, by the Sons of the American Revolution. So congratulations to Officers DeLapp and Lee. And I should mention, too, as we talked a lot about last week, FPD, we are hiring. The deadline, May 18th. You can still submit your applications by going to franklintn.gov/joinfpd. When we come back, we will talk Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month with Officer Domenico Buffa. You won't want to miss it. Stay with us.
Are you ready to make a difference in your community? The Franklin Police Department is seeking dedicated, passionate individuals who want to protect and serve in the South's most charming town. As a member of our internationally accredited team, you'll be part of a dynamic, supportive department that values integrity, professionalism, and community engagement. Enjoy competitive benefits, career advancement opportunities, and the chance to truly impact the safety and well-being of our neighbors. For more information, visit franklintn.gov/joinfpd. That's franklintn.gov/joinfpd.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Max Winitz here with Officer Domenico Buffa, or I like to call you Dom. It's good to see you. Thanks for being part of the APB podcast. We were joking earlier that you are the second guest after the chief, so big shoes to fill.
You ain't kidding. You're not kidding.
You're one of our traffic officers here. Specifically, you are assigned to a motorcycle. It is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, but let's talk about you first. A lot of people may already know this based on a video we did with you on September 11th of last year, but you were, prior to coming to Franklin, an NYPD officer.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about how you got your start in law enforcement.
So I started law enforcement in 2012. Before that, my dad was a police officer for almost 30 years. And just seeing him coming home every day and in a uniform, I think it was just one of the awesome things to see. He's my hero. This uniform, a police officer, has all the gadgets on his belt. So I think as a kid, seeing that and growing up with that, I was just destined to become a police officer.
And your mom was a nurse, and I know that helped pave the way as well, especially on 9/11, right?
Yep. So she was a nurse for, I think, 35 years total. So just having two public servants as parents, just becoming a police officer was just something I wanted to do. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be there for them when they needed me the most. And I love doing that. I love being able to make someone's day better as much as I can.
I know this is a sensitive topic, but I know you don't mind talking about it. But it's what a tragedy helped pave the way for you. Your brother in 2017, I believe in Long Island, passed away as a result of a traffic accident. Take me back to that day and what sort of impact that had on you, both personally and professionally.
So that day, obviously, was one of the worst days of my life. I was on patrol in East Harlem in the NYPD, and I received a phone call that he was involved in a car accident. At that time, I was assigned to the traffic unit within that precinct in East Harlem. So I knew a couple things about traffic enforcement, traffic-related stuff, crashes, and whatnot. So I ended up going to the scene and learned that my brother had passed away in a car accident. That really started my urge and my kick to want to become a traffic crash reconstructionist. Because after reviewing the report and seeing how the collision had happened and how it occurred, and there were some things that we didn't know really what happened or what led to the accident. So that really sparked my interest on wanting to become someone in the crash reconstruction realm, because I wanted to be able to give closure to other people. So the stuff that I couldn't figure out at that time, I was able to figure out now because of my training. So that kind of paved the way for me to eventually join the New York City Highway Patrol. I was there for a number of years, and then leading up to here and becoming in our traffic unit, where I'm a traffic crash reconstructionist.
So you would say, I think it's fair to say you you turned a tragedy into something positive.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
the only silver lining out of this.
Sure. Yep.
And being able to tell me what it means to you, dealing with families in similar situations that you were in back in 2017, be able to, help them.
So not knowing what happened, because most of the time when families and stuff arrive on scene, they don't know what happened. They don't know how the crash transpired or what went on. So for me, allowing me to have the training that I've been able to do and meet with people, unfortunately, at some of the worst days of their lives, my training has allowed me to tell them the answers and the hard questions that they have. I'm able to answer those for them. So for me, unfortunately, I can't help their family members get better or bring them back, but I can give them answers to those questions so they can have that closure.
Yeah. And I just can't imagine what that means to you. I mean, it's got to just tug at your heart each time.
Yep.
And is that, I don't think I've ever asked you, is that your brother tattooed on your arm?
Yes, sir.
What was his name?
Derek.
Derek Buffalo. Well, may his memory be a blessing. And thanks to you for all you do.
Appreciate it.
For what you do in his memory. Okay, let's focus more on the positive stuff now. You love being a motorcycle cop. You talk about it all the time. Mm-hmm. This is your bike behind us. I should mention that right now we are outside. If you're watching us or just listening to us, audio only. If you're watching us on the YouTube channel, you'll see that we are in this little garage here at the police department. This is where where all the motorcycles are stationed, DOMs included. But this is your Harley right here, less than a year old. Tell me a little bit about this and why you enjoy riding it so much.
So it's a 2024 Harley Road Glide. It's a 114 cubic inch M8. It is probably one of the best motorcycles I've ridden. I've ridden motorcycles from dirt bikes, street bikes, to the Road Kings in New York City that we use for highway patrol. We use the electric glides here, which is also behind us. The Road King, great bike, but the Road Glide is in a class of its own.
Yeah.
I love to ride. I've been doing it since I was, I think, 3 years old. My dad got me a little PW50 Yamaha dirt bike, and I've been on two wheels ever since. Just driving and being out there on the road and be able to have the wind hitting you on the face and everything like that. It's awesome driving a police car. It's super cool. But then being on a motorcycle, being out there and being able to do all that stuff is just awesome for me. So just being able to experience that, and you could interact more with the public when you're on the motorcycle. I could pull up to a traffic light on Main Street and I see little kids waving to me, and I could wave to them, or I'll pull over to the side and I'll carry stickers and little squishy police cars in my saddlebag, and I'll just hand them to the kids, and that makes their day. And for me, that's what I love doing. So for me to have the motorcycle and to be able to do that, it's awesome.
And just being outside in that, the open air, it's indescribable, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like freeing, I guess, in a term. You could just be out there.
Yeah. We also have a BMW motorcycle, which you have ridden before.
Yep.
But the Harley you prefer.
Yeah, the BMWs, they are really good at like cone course work. You could dip them super deep into cones and you could spin around. It's really good for like metropolitan style work, and I know like Metro PD and THP are starting to use them. But for our Harleys, we have just far superior storage. We could hold our MDTs, which are our computers. We could hold them in the back with our printers. We could just hold everything we need, our rifles if we need to, in the saddlebag. So for us, it's a little bit more comfortable ride, and we can have so much more stuff with us, stuff that we need for if we do pull up on a crash scene. Since we're in the traffic division, we could pull up and we can have the stuff we need. We can have our computers and our printers. Mm-hmm. So I think the storage-wise and just the overall comfortness is just far superior for us.
So I did some research before our sit down today. Mm-hmm. In 2024, you all, the traffic unit, responded to just over 2,100 crash incidents in the city. Only 22 of those involved a motorcycle. Yeah. Very, very small number. But what does that say?
It's really good because we have a growing population here. I mean, we think we have over 100,000 people that live here and growing. But for 22 of those to be traffic collisions, that's really good. I mean, depending on what the situation was and how the accident occurred, that's a good number.
But this is now the time of year when when it starts to become warm.
Yep.
You're seeing more and more motorcyclists out and about.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. So what do you want people to know who are planning on traveling on our streets on a bike?
First and foremost, when you get on your motorcycle or when you start to get on your motorcycle, make sure you have the right gear on. Helmets, gloves, jackets. I know it's hot out most days, but that extra layer of protection, and I know some jackets have added padding inside and whatnot. Some of them are even mesh, so it gets that cool air through. Wear your stuff. Wear your gear. After that, make sure your motorcycle's good to go. First, I always carry an air pressure checker, so I'll check my front and rear tires, make sure they're good to cold specifications, for cold PSIs. Check those. Oil, check your brakes, your lights, headlights, taillights. Make sure everything's working, because if you get on the road and you have a flat tire and you go to corner or you go to turn, it could be a bad day. If you don't have functioning lights, headlights and taillights, you're not be able to be seen a lot, right? And if you're going to brake, next thing you know, nobody can tell that you're braking and you can get rear-ended. So making sure that your motorcycle is functioning every time you get on it is probably one of the key features other than your gear.
And I still see people, not necessarily here in Franklin, but I still see people riding a motorcycle without a helmet. And that is a death wish, and
Yep.
it's also illegal.
Yes, yep, very illegal. And I would not ride a motorcycle to begin with without a helmet, even if I was allowed to, because that is your first line of defense. God forbid you get into a crash, because you are going to either hit your head on something or hit the ground. So for me, wearing a helmet is just completely silly. But overall, having that other gear, like your gloves for your hands, God forbid you do fall, even if it's a slow spill and you make contact with the ground, that could really destroy your hands. If you have to grab something hot to hold that motorcycle back up if it's falling down, just being able to have those gloves on is great. Also, eye protection. I see a lot of people around, they have their helmets on, but they have no eye protection. Mm-hmm. So if you have no eye protection and you get something gets in your eyes while you're driving, whether it's a bug or some road debris from the car in front of you, you're blind pretty much. If you have to close your eyes, you're blind and you're riding blind. So not only can you hurt you can hurt somebody else.
You've given great advice for motorcyclists, but what about the advice for drivers who are in sedans, coupes, crossovers, who encounter a motorcyclist?
So for the motorists and general public, if you can't see them, right? Because I read a statistic the other day. It said about 40% of your car, while you're operating it, you can't see out of, which makes sense. You have A pillars, B pillars, C pillars throughout your car, and then various blind spots. A lot of manufacturers now, they have these back windows on cars that are super small, and it doesn't help when you're trying to change lanes. I mean, we have cameras and stuff in majority of these cars, but for the general public, just being in their car, just look. If you don't see anybody, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't take more than a second or two to look again to see if there's somebody else there. Because if there's a motorcycle there that doesn't have an active headlight or isn't super loud or it's very quiet, or a scooter or something like that, and you hit them while they're trying to change lanes or you're trying to change lanes, like I said, they don't have a full car protecting them. They only have their gear. So it could be devastating to that person riding a motorcycle for sure.
Yeah. As we wrap up here, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you I think I already know what your favorite part of the job is, being able to be on a motorcycle all day long. But just elaborate a little bit more about what you enjoy so much about working for this department, working in this city. You've been here a while now, so something's going right.
Yeah, I should have moved here earlier, to be honest with you. I've been here going on almost 4 years, coming up on 4 years, and it's the work environment and the public is amazing. In 10 years in New York City, for me to have someone come up to me and say, hey, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate you. God bless you. I could probably count on less than two hands of how many times in over 10 years that happened to me. I've had that happen 10 times in one day here. So when you do a job like this in law enforcement where you're serving the public and you're helping people, having that public that wants to come up to you and say thank you, whether you're eating dinner or something like that, or you're on a crash or whatever you're doing, and say, hey, thank you for what you do. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. that makes us feel so much better.
It gives you motivation to.
Of course. And I mean, please, if anybody that's listening, please continue to thank our police officers, whether it's Franklin, Williamson County, anybody you see, because that really makes their day. Because you get that extra, you never know, it might be a bad day for that cop. They might have just saw a bad crash or something, and someone in the community is saying, hey, thanks for what you do and appreciate you. It just brightens their day. So for me, having that here, I'm just jealous that I didn't have it for the 10 years before this.
Yeah. So the overall message, the lesson learned from this interview, be safe on your motorcycle and thank a cop
course.
when you see somebody.
Yep.
Well, Domenico Buffa, really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
If you see Dom out on the road, you can't miss him. He'll be on his
Don't
bicycle.
be afraid to say hi.
Don't be afraid to say hi. Thank you so much for joining us on this latest edition of the APB podcast. We hope to see you next time. Stay safe, everybody.